Hi everyone, welcome to the Living Room channel, and today I have Dr. Francisca here with me all the way from Ghana. How are you, Dr. Francisca?
Hello, Siobhan, I'm doing great, and you?
I had the opportunity to meet her last year in Ghana when I was there for a conference, and one of the things that I actually got impacted by her was the way she carries herself. I think there's so much of confidence in her, and I do like the fact that you're just very sure of yourself, and that shows in the way that you present and the way you communicate with the people around you. So I thought that it would be brilliant for you to come on board this show and really share from your heart. How do you get this confidence, and how has your journey been so far? So before we jump into the section, maybe would you like to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Oh, sure. Okay, my name, as Siobhan already said, is Francisca Kusi-Appiah. I come from a very large family, a family of 7 children, 4 boys, 3 girls. I'm a lawyer by profession and also a lecturer. I'm a very determined young lady who thinks that in life, whatever anyone can do, I can equally do if given the same opportunities. So in short, that is Francisca Kusi-Appiah.
I love it. I love how you have just framed yourself as this woman, and I think it's really how you see yourself, and that's how it has kind of come out naturally, because you believe that of yourself. So how has your journey been growing up?
It's been an interesting one, I must say. And I think I had difficult patches, but growing up, I'm a twin actually. My twin is a boy. And we come from this conservative, traditional setting, especially African setting, where in the 1990s, male child were treated differently from the way a female child would be treated. And so often than not, I used to ask, why am I being asked to do something? And then my twin is not asked to do the same thing. It's different if the other party or your sibling is an elder person or a younger person. The explanation will be, oh, he's older than you or younger than you. But here we are twins. Why are we not being asked to do the same things? Why am I being asked to maybe go to the kitchen? And then he's being asked to do something else. I didn't understand. And fortunately or unfortunately for my parent, my dad is a judge, or he used to be a judge. So I used to ask him, you always said, all the children are equal. How come you're treating me differently from my twin brother? So that is where I started thinking along, why am I being treated differently? And I could see small facets of it in the society. Women are categorized differently, treated differently from men. And I kept asking myself, why? What is so different about that? So, and I used to be a very stubborn child too. So along the way, with all these kind of thinkings and not getting immediate responses, I started behaving differently, as in I would rebel. And so my twin brother excelled in academic work, and then I was not excelling. So when he would be sent to great academic schools and all that, I was sent to the local school where, you're not going to make it. So that was my turning point. I said to myself, no, I will be somebody. I have to prove to everyone that I can be better than this. I want to be someone everyone will respect. And why is it that when women speak, everyone is telling them, keep quiet, you're a woman? No, I want to be that person. When I speak, people would listen. So that was how I grew up learning. And then I started putting in efforts into my work, in whatever I did. And I realized along with the effort I put in, my parents started respecting me. Everyone started respecting me. So that was my journey to becoming who I am. Yeah.
You're very determined from a very young age. You kind of didn't accept it as it is, but you kept pushing and asking, why are we treated that way? I mean, it's really true, because if you come from a family where maybe we have different ages, then sometimes parents can get away with it, oh, he's the oldest and you're the youngest. But if you are in the same age, so why are we being treated differently? And for yourself, right, based on that, right, before you even had, once you have that determination in your heart and you know that you wanted to excel and all that, what are the things that you did to instill that confidence, to start to actually show even to your parents or your teachers to, like, to take notice of you?
Okay, the very first thing is discipline. You would have to be very disciplined. That whatever you set out to do, you would actually carry it out. You would have to also know how to manage your time. Because even as a child or an adult, you have various responsibilities. It's how you manage it. So if you have to do house chores, you can carry out your house chores and still have time to go and do other maybe academic or extracurricular activities which can develop you. So those are the two main things. You would have to be disciplined and you would have to know how to manage your time very well.
That's very good. I think that's a very fair statement, because I think a lot of times people fail in either one of this. They either do not know, they either don't take up anything else to further themselves, or they feel like, I don't have enough time. But I think if you can manage your time right, you can really go, and there's so much that you can do. There's so much you can actually pick up skills along the way. And in your own words, right, what do you think defines a strong and confident woman?
Well, a strong and confident woman is someone who respects herself first. And you should be able to love yourself or accept you as you are. And you should also be able to respect others. Again, a very strong and confident woman should be able to assert yourself. Do not be scared. As long as you're being respectful, you should be able to assert your points, irrespective of whatever people are thinking. As long as you're stating your point respectfully, that is fine. And again, a strong and confident woman should also be loving, be compassionate. And I think with all these, you should also add a touch of hard work and determination. And with that, you are set to go.
I love the fact that you have both qualities. I think a lot of times when you portray a woman who is not only confident but strong, people kind of think that you have to be heartless, you have to be like not empathetic at all. But the thing is, I love the fact that you say you have to be also compassionate, because being a woman, right, I think we have the nurturing part of ourselves where we can actually pour into people's life, we can mentor, and we also have the other part where we have the leadership skills that we have acquired, the communication skills. So that's really very good. And I just wanted to ask you something, because I've been actually having this, I've been just reading up a lot on different sets of mentality, and I was actually talking about just today in one of my articles, an eagle and a chicken mentality. And how that sometimes for women, because we women, we like to congregate, we are in communities, and sometimes you might be a person like like yourself, right? You have someone who's very strong, who's confident, who's just starting to pave her way in the society, and then you sit with a community of people who are like chickens, like they are like happy where they are, they don't want to aim very high, and they kind of, and sometimes it's like a misfit. If you sit with a group of people, you are not like them, but you feel like I need to kind of conform to them, their way of thinking, because if not, you will look like the odd one sitting at that table.
Yeah, I'll give my scenario or my setting as an example. Yes, most often than not, everyone asks, okay, you're a woman, you're a lawyer, to add to that. Oh my God. And you didn't stop there, you've pursued PhD. And then most of your colleagues, if they've not pursued PhD, will think, oh, it's because you think you've learned too much. That's why you're talking like that. Okay? If you had not done that, you wouldn't be thinking like that. Yeah, so I do agree. Most at times you have different opinions, different perceptions, but I believe that is what makes society so exciting and unique. We all have different perceptions and mentality. the only way forward is to be able to convince the other party that it doesn't matter my academic abilities or my capabilities, but the fact that we are women, we have a very special role to play in our society, okay? And that if you do not even agree with me, how do I get you, or how do I drag you along the way? One, I would have to start from where we agree. So often than not, if people are not in agreement with you, you start from where you have a meeting point, the commonalities among you, and then you start from there and then try and direct the person back that, look, we are all women. Yes, at a point in our lives, it's possible we may all end up being mothers. It's possible you are already a mother. So you are thinking because you are not a mother, you are not understanding. That is why you are behaving like that. So it's okay the way the society is treating us as women. So it's okay. Don't be too assertive as a woman and all that. But if you're able to convince such a mother that you are a role model to your child, what examples are you setting for your girl child? That in life, whatever happens to the woman in the house, it's acceptable. Even if it's wrong, it's acceptable. That is very, very wrong of you as a mother, irrespective of your academic achievements. You should set examples for your daughter to achieve, irrespective of her circumstance. So I think all the time, you always have to start from a very common ground with people in order to get them to agree with you, even if it's 50 or 40%. You would always not get 100%, but at least to drag them along the way. Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times it's like there isn't a common ground and people don't try to find it. So we either feel like we'll give in, or we feel like, you know what, I'm just going to go and avoid that. And a lot of trouble starts, I think, there. And it stifles growth in a person because they feel like, you know, I have so much that I want to do. There's so much that I want to help or inspire, but then I feel like I'm trapped in a community of people who just kind of brings you down all the time. They are not helping you to grow. And I really love the fact that you kind of pointed out, right? Even if you are a mother, you have a place, you have an influence. It's really about making a change in all your journey, which is so interesting that I wouldn't have guessed that. I think it's really interesting. And now that I see you and I understand the background, I can see that determination in you to succeed, to want to prove yourself, to be different from people out there. But what was turning point, or what was that significant thing that happened in your journey that caused you to feel like, you know what, I need to, I can't give up. I want to do more.
Okay, I think that was somewhere in 2015. Whilst I was pursuing my PhD, I had a lot of challenges. At a point, I asked myself, do I really need it to have a career in law? Most people don't have it because there were a lot of job opportunities and I was just there, not taking advantage of them. And then, unfortunately, my mom suffered stroke, so I had to come back home and all that. And then looking back, I said, no, all these people are, you see, gone were the days where I was rebelling, but all these people are showing so much respect for me. They are looking up to me, sort of, you're a role model. I cannot give up, because if I give up, they would equally give up. So that was my sort of determining moment that I have to strive to succeed. It does not matter. And I realized from that day on that it's not just my family. Somewhere unknown to me, someone is out there watching me, taking me as a role model. So if I fail to succeed, I'm equally failing that particular person. Because I also saw a lady who walked into my class. I remember that was, I think, 2005. And she was very young. She had a PhD. And that inspired me that, no, I want to be like that lady as well. How come she's so young? So somewhere along the line, knowing that someone, a young lady, a young girl, or even a young man or boy is looking up to me as a role model, gives me the strength to always persevere and to succeed. But it doesn't mean that there won't be failures. That is what I have understood as well. Along the line, you would have stumbling blocks, but you have to pick up yourself and move on. So that is what really made me change or take this particular position in my life, that I must succeed in whatever I do, because someone somewhere is also using me as a turning point.
That's so good. And I think I really love the fact that you're sharing this, right? Like, that you don't want to give up, because I think sometimes we are placed in a community where, whether we like it or not, we become a form of like a beacon of hope to them. And people might look at us and say, okay, you know what, there is still hope, because, this is happening. And we see this person that, they might come from a very challenging background. They have so many things that's not going along their way, but they're still there, they're still trying, and that's what keeps them going, that's what keeps them moving. And I think that if people like us, we give up, a lot of people who look at us will also think that, they've tried so far, they've come so far, if they've given up, what else hope do we have? And I really like that, and I do really appreciate that we get this opportunity to to hear from you, because there will be women out there watching this who could be in the same shoe as you, who could be questioning the fact that, why am I treated differently at home? What else can I do? And that would be an inspiration to the young women, to women who are even like in mid-career changes, thinking if they should pursue their degree, pursue their academic qualifications. That's going to be a great encouragement to them. And when you talk about your challenges, right? I know that we will have our high seasons, and we definitely have our low moments in life. So what do you do when you're faced in a very low situation in your life?
Okay. I have a very strong backup system, being family. Yes, I fall on them a lot. So even as a career-oriented or a self-sufficient woman, you are not sufficient without your family. And here I'm not referring to the nuclear family. I'm referring to the extended family, your parents, your siblings, your nieces, everyone. So I have a very strong backup system. I fall on them all the time. So you need a backup system, because there are times you really feel very, very low, and you need someone to inspire you to move on. Again, I also, I indulge in things that gets my mind off when I'm feeling a bit down. I like to watch comedy movies, especially when I'm really down. It gets my mood back in. And then also sometimes it's good to watch inspiring videos. Like this discussion we're having. Sometimes it's very, very important to watch that, to inspire yourself. Get to know that you are not alone along the journey. Some people have been there, they've faced challenges, but they've made it. And also take a break. If you're feeling a bit down, take a break. Okay, if it's a day or 2 or a week, and then come back. Whatever you're doing, if you fail or you feel a bit down, take a step back, review. Sometimes people will criticize you. Not all criticisms are bad. Some of them are very constructive. So take note of them. And then if it's possible, they can positively influence your life, you implement them. So you always have to take a step back, review your life, your activity, or whatever work you've done, and then move ahead. So those are things I do. Your backup system, taking a break, doing things to divert you, and then watching inspiring videos or interviews such as this. Yeah.
I love it. And I really believe in that, because I think the backup system is so important. And also I love the fact that you say that take criticisms, right? You don't take sometimes I think when we do something or we feel very discouraged when we hear criticism, so some people do give up after that as well. But it's good to actually determine where is it coming from. If it's something that's positive, that's going to help you, to improve what you're doing, then take it in good stride. But I think if it's really something that you feel like, no, it's absolutely not worth my time even listening to, then we can just just shut it off, and we can just keep moving from there. And I do agree with you on the movies, because even for myself, there was a period of time when I feel very stressed. I come back home and I watch Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh yeah.
That and also the inspirational movies, because sometimes I think that I always feel that when you have especially like during this kind of time, it's so easy to get depressed, or it's so easy to feel down, because sometimes there are women out there who are just cooped up in their homes by themselves without any community. And I think that the best way sometimes is to really keep yourself joyful, because the more happy, the more you laugh and you enjoy yourself, you kind of feel like that heaviness has just been lifted off you.
Definitely.
Yeah. Be your advice to women, right, who find it a challenge to speak up, be it in even not even work. Like sometimes you do see in your class students who are, they have so much in them, but there's this fear of wanting to speak up. How do you address that?
Oh, okay. For my class, if I realize you don't speak, I would intentionally call you. Well, yeah, it's very, very important that I always tell them, understand some few basics in life. You are all here individually, irrespective of what other people think about you. It's your journey. It's how you make it. You will look back 5 years later and say, oh, is that what I did? So it's you. Think about yourself first. So when you are talking, pretend there's no one around. Otherwise, most often, people are prevented from asserting themselves because they are thinking, oh, he's looking at me. Oh, what if I make a mistake? Or what's not? But once you pretend or assume you are alone in that room, it makes it a bit easier. And again, for those at home, wherever they find themselves, that they think they can't assert themselves, I think it depends on each cultural background, I think. There are subtle ways of asserting yourself. You don't have to come out outrightly immediately. Otherwise, you may meet antagonistic, how do you call it? Other opponents saying, no, we don't outrightly agree with you. There are subtle ways of doing it. If they are saying, don't jump 3 feet, you can jump just 1. You don't need to be screaming. There are people who are equally good, not in speaking, but they're very good in writing. That is what helps you. I would rather you put your thoughts in words and circulate it. It's also another means of voicing out. If you can't speak, you can write it. If you think you can't speak for yourself, but there are other people who can speak on your behalf at homes, at workplaces, they're always the middleman.
Yeah.
If you think you can't really talk, you can always speak through the middleman. And another last thing I would like to say is, for those, my lovely ladies, gentlemen, wherever you are, if you can't speak, take it from me. You're going to contribute to the problem if you decide not to speak. Once you're in a room 10, just realize only 2 people may accept what you're saying. So it should not prevent you from speaking, knowing that everyone is going to condemn what you're saying. No. Speak or assert yourself, knowing only 1 or 2 people would accept. And once you start, there's always a first time. Once you start, you remove all the barriers or the fear of people criticizing me or what. Please start. There's always a starting point. Don't look at anyone. It's your journey. Make your journey a memorable one.
You're actually saying from experience, and you're actually telling them very, very practical tips. And I like the fact that you mentioned the word acceptance. I think a lot of times fear comes in and we stop ourselves from speaking out because we ourselves feel like there's a need to be accepted. It comes with the package of like, you need to be, if it really comes back to the place where you are being seated. If the people that you are seated with are all people who are afraid to talk up, and then you don't feel like, I want to talk, because you feel like I want to be accepted in this group, and if I am starting to be different, you also feel that you need to like jump in and to do something different because you want to. It really comes to the fact of being acceptance, and I believe that for you, you didn't really have that problem because you already mentioned that you have a very strong backup, you have a very strong community. So for women out there who might not have this kind of resources, right?
Okay. Just for clarity, you see, I told you initially I come from a very large family. You start questioning yourself. So if you are a woman, you come from such an environment, all I'll keep telling you is believe in yourself. Ask yourself, why were you put in that particular environment? There's a purpose for that. You should not keep quiet. Know that once you accept yourself, you are making history. You are making history. I'll tell you this, Siobhan, at a point in time, my father is a very strict disciplinarian. At a point, he could discipline me to the extent that he tells everyone not to talk to me. Okay? And sometimes even in school, the whole school, he can take me to school and tell the whole school not to talk to me. So if you think you find yourself within an environment that is hostile, so you would not talk, trust me, you are going to. So just accept yourself, irrespective of whether people are talking or not. Accept yourself, because take it or leave it. It will surprise you to know that what you're saying is what people actually wish to say, but they can't say it. So you may be speaking on behalf of a lot of people. So if you find yourself in an environment which is hostile, tell yourself, I am making history. I will speak. Even if I'm shut down, I will speak. Someone is looking up to you. The person may be a silent watcher. So once you keep quiet, you are contributing to the problem. So for me, not necessarily having, yes, when I grew up, I had my strong backup system. But growing up, I did not have a backup system. So please, please, please speak up. It does not matter where you find yourself. Speak up.
So that's a very important point that you have brought up as well. So for yourself, right, would that, if you have to go back, a couple of years back down the road, and you get a chance, an opportunity to recreate everything again, would there have been something that you would have done differently?
That is what has made me who I am. If I'm the kind of person, I think because of my growing up and the challenges I went through, if you tell me, Francisca, you cannot do A, B, and C. In fact, you actually inspire me to do the A, B, and C. Yes, I would sit down, I would examine ways and means to achieve that, to prove to you that I can do that. I'm actually grateful for those experiences, those challenges, because it's made me who I am today. And I've grown to respect people, irrespective of their background, because see, society is made up of different people, and we all contribute differently. So no matter where you find yourself, whether you are the one who sweeps the streets, you work in an office, you are a doctor or whatever, you are all contributing. So we should all respect each other. So I would say I wouldn't change anything so far. It's been a wonderful journey. So I wouldn't change anything so far.
So good to know. That's really so good to know. So is there a quote that you live by?
Oh yes, that whatever you do it well. It doesn't matter. Wherever you find yourself, whatever job you're doing, do it well. My mother was a full-time housewife. She did very well because you are equally contributing. So it does not matter where you find yourself. If you're selling on the street, wherever, do it very well. That is my motto.
So good, that's so good. Like coming to the end of this section, right? I mean, I've really enjoyed this, the conversation so far. You know, like even for me personally, I feel like I am inspired by self conversations like this. There's so much that we draw from each other that kind of like, that kind of helps to contribute to other people out there to say like, oh, they can change, they can actually do things differently, they can be confident as well. Yeah.
Yes. That's very true. And it's interesting. I also pick up a lot of things from people, meeting them, just like I told you, that's an inspiration, you know? So I think for me, if you're asking for orange juice, and so you want oranges, and unfortunately you've been given grapes, you still get your juice. Whatever circumstance you find yourself in, make the best out of it. I think that should be it. Make the very best out of whatever circumstance. You may think is a negative, the environment is, but think of it, what is the positive thing I can get out of my situation?
Oh, that's so powerful. And coming to the end of the section, right, is there any key takeaways that you would like to leave to women out there? I think especially to young women who are stepping out to work, making a career switch at this point of time.
Okay, the first thing I would say is strive to be a better version of yourself every day. Strive only to be a better version of yourself on a daily basis. That is all you should do. And again, once you are growing intellectually, academically, and all that, please respect yourself, because once you respect yourself, you would also be respected. And try as much as possible to respect the other person. Don't rub your achievements in the face of someone in the wrong way. So respect yourself hard, be determined, and be disciplined. You would make it eventually. Although it may take a long time, don't give up. You will still make it.
For even living that 3 points, and I believe that the people who are watching this episode will be really very inspired, and they will be encouraged by the points that you have actually shared with us throughout this section.